Stephen, generally speaking, what impact do celebrity endorsements have on voting?
Thanks so much for having me, Ian. Most of the work on celebrity endorsements that have been done by academics really comes on the marketing side. It's a little bit easier to measure an effect when you can look at sales numbers, for instance, on a quarterly or a monthly basis. We don't have that in politics. Every election is different. Every situation is different, and so there's not a lot. What we can say is that when this has been studied, that engagement has sort of had an uptick, but we don't know for sure if the endorsement itself has led to more votes.
So let me give you a specific example in terms of numbers. After Taylor Swift's endorsement of Kamala Harris, so that was shared with her 272 million followers on Instagram. Vote.org, a nonpartisan organization, recorded more than 35,000 registrations. What do those numbers tell you?
She's just short of the number of followers you have, Ian, right, on social media. So,
That's right,
uh,
just short.
yeah, look, this is what I mean by engagement, right? These folks are registering to vote. It doesn't mean that they will vote. And if they do vote, it doesn't mean that they will vote for Kamala Harris, whom she has endorsed. But it does mean that they're engaged. And the engagement part is a really an excellent step for the younger generation in the United States, because we know that that demographic tends to vote at a lower rate than other age groups.
So if a candidate wants to motivate large groups of young people to vote for them, what do you think would be an effective strategy?
Well, I think this was a great start. If you look closely at the way that Taylor Swift endorsed Kamala Harris, she mentioned about doing her research, encouraging her followers to do their own research. And for me, that was much more, I mean, I'm a political scientist, right? For me, that was much more important than the actual candidate endorsement. She's encouraging civic responsibility. She's encouraging civic engagement. She's encouraging people to be good neighbors and citizens. And so if those numbers that you cited in terms of voter registrations, if there's a causal link between her endorsement and those, she drove them to those sites, that's an excellent first step. Now, getting them out to vote is another matter. And you can't do that nationally. There's no way that she can do that from her platform. It really is going to have to rely on the get out the vote efforts by the parties, by the candidates' committees in the states that matter the most.
Let's talk about another group of voters. Swift signed her endorsement, childless cat lady, so referring to one of the hot button issues in this election, which is reproductive rights. And so put youth aside for a moment. Do you think that her endorsement and the way that she signed it is going to motivate female voters?
I don't know for sure, although there's been a number of endorsements that have come. We just had an event here in the United States last night with Oprah Winfrey, who came out a few weeks ago at the Democratic National Convention and also endorsed Kamala Harris. And she did a town hall with her in Michigan just last night. So we know that that demographic is an important part, that the reproductive rights issue. Of course, it overwhelmingly affects women, but a lot of men care about this as well. And I think the interesting thing that we'll be able to see is in those states where the Electoral College is going to make a determination, what do the demographics look like? A lot of talk about suburban women, suburban white women in particular, because that demographic has sort of gone back and forth since 2016. And that's certainly a demographic that Kamala Harris would like to win, and it's one that Donald Trump would like to win back because he lost it in 2020.
Well, lots of reasons to watch exactly what the votes are going to be in November. This is one of them. Professor Caliendo, thank you very much.
I'm so glad to be with you. I hope you have a wonderful evening.